So in today's lecture we will see some more concept about potential difference. Okay, so first, the field of a point charge will be radially away from R. So it will be radially away from R and along particular path. Let me choose 2 points. Say this is my R1. Once again, over here I'm taking R1. Over here I'm taking R2. Okay, 2 points are there, and I want to find out what is potential difference between the 2 points. So if I take a particular path, I'm choosing this path because it is easy for me. The electrical fields are radially directed away, and the path is always radial direction. Okay, so the path itself is given by dlr is equals to dr r hat. Okay, so this is how my path is given. So do not include minus dr. I'm not including minus dr over here. Okay, minus dr will comes on its own. So this is L dlr is equals to dr r hat, and then electrical field is given by q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square in the direction of r. Okay, the value of electric field. Okay, so potential difference Vr1 minus Vr2 is obtained by moving from point R2 to R1, that is integration of electrical field with respect to line integration of electric field. Right now we fortunate that E vector and D we have chosen to be along same direction parallelly. So r dot r will equals to this r dot r will equals to 1, and then this integration becomes minus r2 to r1, and there is dr here. So you have q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. This is dr. Okay, so q by 4 pi epsilon naught is a constant, so I will put it out, and q by 4 pi epsilon naught I have integral 1 by r square dr. Okay, from r2 to r1. Okay, so the integration of 1 by r square, or the integration of 1 by r square is minus 1 by r, right? So therefore there is minus sign here, minus will become plus for integration, so 1 by r. So the potential difference that you are going to get is q by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by r between r1 and r2, which is given by 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2, and this is in volts. Okay, so the potential difference is in volts. Well, this is fairly interesting expression because I can imagine going back or coming from R2 is equals to infinite. Okay, so imagine that I want to find the potential at point R1, but not from moving the test charge from R2 to R1, where R2 is close to R1. R2 is I am going to push it away as far as infinite, and I will come from infinite to R1 in the same direction, or the radial thing that we have taken over here. So I will come back from infinity to point R1, and then I will try to find out the potential at infinity, as, or in other word, R2 tends to be very, minus R2 becomes very large, and 1 by R2 will be equals to 0. Okay, so the potential at R, which is r measured from origin is given by q by 4 pi epsilon naught r. Take the value of r is equals to infinity. R2 is taken as infinity. Okay. So you see, what if I take v of infinity is equals to q by infinite. This expression will be infinite. Okay, this will be equals to 1 volt. Or in other words, what I can do is to test R2 is equals to infinite as reference for me to measure voltage, and it is like sea level and the mountain, except that sea level push away to the edge of the universe and the end of the point infinite, so that all other potential at any other point in space can now be called as absolute potential. Okay, at any point in the space. And it is interesting to note that potential goes as 1 by r. Okay, so you can kind of start suspecting from relationship V and E, although we have already obtained the relationship here, the relationship between E and V. Okay, so we are trying to think of inverse kind of relationship. V has obtained as an integral of electrical field. Okay, so you could suspect that electrical field is differential of voltage, and we will get that one. So we can write E as dV by dL. So we have set R2 is equals to infinite for our reference, and let you know kind of some other types of charge distribution, electric field distribution, and try to find out what will be the potential because of those charge distribution and line distribution. Before that, let us do some simple example. Okay, so let us do simple example. Assume that I have a point charge which is 222 picocoulombs. So I have a charge which has 2.222 pc coulombs. I want to consider movement from R2 to R1. R2 is equals to 400 millimeter, R1 is equals to 100 millimeter, and then the field that we are considering is a point charge field. Okay, and I want to find out what is the potential difference at 100, or a potential difference between 100 and 400 millimeters point. Okay, or the radial 100 and 400, and I also want to find out what is V100 itself and V400 itself. So now you can do it in two ways. One, you can write down the integral, that the integral from 400 to 100. So you can do this. You can have q by 4 pi epsilon naught r square dr. Okay, so you just put the values. When you integrate, you will get the value 20 minus 5, that is 15 volts. Okay. So as you move from point which is 400, from point charge to point 100 millimeter from the point charge, okay, so you can actually experience total potential rise of 15 volts. So there is potential rise if you move against the field. If you move against the electric field, you are going to see potential rise, and there is potential rise of about 15 volts. And you can course for this expression itself find out that potential of 100 is 20 and potential at 400 is 5. Okay, so this is potential at 400 mm, this is at 100 mm. Okay, In fact, if you sketch the potential, okay, you do the couple of other calculation, like find out what is potential at 100, what is potential at 200, 300, 400, and so on. So 400 we have already know is 5, 400 we know it is 20, and if you find out what is the potential at 200 millimeter from the origin, you are going to find out that it will be 10 volts. Okay, for 200, if you will see, V200 is 10 volts. Okay, and the potential is actually going as 1 by R. Okay, so potential is going as 1 by R. This is R, this is my potential. Well, what will be the average slope if you take the 2 points, one as 200 mm, one at 100 mm? What will be the slope of this curve here? The slope of curve will be 10 minus 20 divided by 200 minus 100. This is absolute value, and into 10 to the power minus 3. So let us put at the top of the slope 10 divided by 200 divided 10 minus 20, so it's 10, this is 100, this is 1000, so it is 100 volts per meter. So if you try to find out what is potential, what is the slope of potential curve from 400 to, assume that from 400 to 100, this point, the slope of this curve will be different compared to the slope of this curve. So this is simply indicating that if you want to find out slope and make good approximation to the continuous curve, your interval be better small. Okay, so the slope of this curve will be, if we call as one angle, we call as two slope, or curve 2 will be total 15 volts. Okay, and the change in terms of 400 and 100, so this is 10 and 1000, 10 into 1000, and this is 300, you get 15. For 300 it's 15. Okay, so the important point is that you actually find the potential at different point, and this potential at different point as a function of radial distance from point. Okay, so indeed what I want to highlight, you can actually find out electric field, okay, at any point by looking at the slope of potential curve. So if you want to find out potential or the magnitude of potential at point 1 R, I can find out what is the slope of potential curve or the potential at that particular point. Of course this get better and better if you take delta R going to be infinite. So in that case I get electric field magnitude to be dV by dr. Okay, and if I find out what is maximum slope, that will be the value of my electrical field, and against the direction of maximum value of the slope will be the direction of electrical field. Okay, so we have seen this already, and we have also seen particular charge distribution. Okay, but coming back to the point that I was mentioning, the maximum value of slope will be the value of electrical field at a given point, and the direction of electrical field at that point will be opposite to the change of slope. That is, let's say there are two constant potential surface, or what we call as potential contour. Okay, constant potential surfaces, constant potential contour, and I have measured on a piece of plane surface or a constant potential by some measurement method which will not have been gone here. So we have constant potential contour here, which are measured. Let's say this is 10 to the power 3 volts, this is 10 to the power 2, this is 10 to the power 1, this is 10 to the power 0. Okay, so I want to find out electrical field at this particular point. How do I find electric field at this point? I need to find whether the slope would change, which direction should I hunt. So I actually try to find out slope along this one, because the potential is essentially constant at that line, right? So the electrical field will not be affected over this line. So will be actually perpendicular to that. Electric field magnitude will be perpendicular to that over here. And remember, when force is perpendicular to object or object do not move. Similarly, when potential electrical field and line segments are in perpendicular to each other, then electric field then work done will be 0. Okay, or the potential will be constant. So along line 1 there is no potential change. Along line 3 there is some potential change. As you go around there will be some potential change, which you can decompose into potential change across x and y. So if you take a short distance between these 2 points, the potential has changed by 1 volts. So electrical field will be directed along these lines. Okay, so electric field will be directed along line 2 with the value of 1 volts per meter. Okay, so it will be 1 volts, and actually potential will be changing if you going in opposite direction, right? So if you look at potential on same line here, you will see that potential change here is 1 volt per meter. The direction of electrical field will be negative to the maximum slope. So this is maximum slope. Electric field will be directed in this way. Because you go against electric field, the potential must rise, right? So if you go against the potential field, the potential must rise. Okay, so keep in mind these 2 points. Electric field value will be actually equals to the maximum value of slope, and whatever is dV by dl. For example, the direction of electric field is against or minus of the slope dV by dl. Okay, so if you can remember this, and remember that when you go against the electric field, you are going to see potential rise, and then you actually write down the electric potential and potential contour. So we are going to do that one. Consider uniform electrical field. I have field lines which are horizontal to the right, and there are all uniform electric field. Okay, so what will happen to the potential if you go opposite to electric field from some point, which I marked from x point to which I called as 0, potential will be some value. So we are not bothered what is the potential value is. So if you take any parallel line to the same direction, the potential here will be exactly same, because we are assuming that electrical field here is uniform. So in fact potential will be constant along all this and all point along these lines. Okay, so these lines are called equipotential lines. There is equipotential line and constant, they called equipotential lines. If line is there, this line. Okay, or they are also called as constant potential contour, okay, or potential surfaces. Actually there should be surface in plane. Why? So if you take this one, they could be surface in plane wave with electric field is pointing uniform like this. So this is electric field, this is electrical surface that you are looking. Now suppose electric field is diverging, it is not uniform in the plane. What will happen to the surface of the constant potential is that you are going to get surface thus which are going to, my drawing is little vague, I'm hoping that you are able to blush the surface here. So you go from uniform to non-uniform field with constant potential would be different. Moreover, a very interesting phenomena happen if the electric field is uniform, then spacing between potential lines is constant. So let us say delta x will be same. This delta x is same, this delta x is same, this delta x is same. So same delta x for given potential difference. However, for non-uniform field, the spacing between equipotential plane. So if I assume there is another plane over here, okay, and the spacing is delta x, will be smaller than spacing between these two. So this will be smaller. If I just see another one, like I'm having one plane, another plane, then a plane is over here. So it's not uniform, it's like something like this. My electric field is not uniform. This is delta x, the distance between two planes. The distance between this is also delta x1, this is delta x2. Our non-uniform electrical field, the spacing between equipotential planes. So if I assume there is another plane over here, okay, the spacing delta x will be smaller than the spacing between these two. So this will be smaller, this particular spacing delta x hat, for example, okay. So because the field is actually getting weaker, then there you need to large distance to get the same potential difference, then you can obtain and you move in stronger field. See, the stronger field you move a certain distance delta x, you get certain potential. However, if you move in vector field, weaker electrical field, the distance you will not get it, so you have to move larger distance in weaker field in order to get the same potential difference. And that's how the potential contour or potential surfaces will also start changing, okay. They should also start spreading apart.